I feel like I've been lied to about the US. It is so nice here. We're in Miami Beach.
They think American food means only fast food, but America is a true melting pot. You can find Mexican food, Cuban food, Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese food, Italian food, barbecue, seafood, diners, steakhouse, food trucks, everything. And in many places, the quality is incredible. That is what makes America.
America, it is happening. Do you see it? People who want American, who have traveled to the World Cup, are realizing they've been lied to.
On the eve of the World Cup in the USA, the British media continuously painted a dark picture of a country full of instability, boredom, and football ignorance. However, a historic turnaround occurred when thousands of British tourists, upon arriving here, were completely manipulated in reverse psychologically. This is not merely the fleeting glamour of a vacation, but rather seems to be a true cognitive crisis. The British are waking up to the realization that their media system has distorted the reality of America for too long. In this video, we will uncover the harsh economic and social truths that you have never heard in the press. What is it about America that has made a proud empire like Britain feel that its homeland is a place of decline, suffocation, and depression? Let's unpack this right away. Let's kick off the first part of this eye-opening journey, where we will unravel one of the first and most profound shocks for any Brit stepping foot in America: the vastness of space. Look, in this clip, the British tourist couple is frozen for a few seconds in the middle of a Walmart supermarket. They looked up at the towering shelves in bewilderment and exclaimed, "Oh, where's the rest of the aisle? Why does it seem endless?" Then there are the items they see for the first time.
It's fucking mad in here. It's mental. We must have come in super high. You can't even see the thing. It's like it must be below ground level. One thing you notice straight away as well is all of the food and drinks here is massively cheaper than all the stadiums. So you can get a bottle of water for like £3.
Or another Scottish friend, when he set foot in the Atlanta Stadium, couldn't hide his surprise either. It exceeded his imagination of a normal stadium.
This is absolutely mad. Just walking through that door and then you see it. Big dome with a 360 screen inside. And straight away the air conditioning hits you as well. It's fucking mad in here. It's mental.
This overwhelming feeling is entirely based on clear scientific and geographical grounds. And here, a fact that could completely change your perspective. The entire United Kingdom, including England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, is actually only as large as the state of Oregon in the US. Imagine, a Brit just needs to take a short 40-minute flight to step into another country, another language. Meanwhile, an American only needs to drive through the states in the interior to experience a complete cultural shift, from the rustic camping lifestyle in the northern lakes to the sun-soaked fervor of the South. This core difference leads us to a highly valuable concept in behavioral economics and psychology: space asset. Have you ever wondered why the living environment shapes human personality? Read the comments from Americans below the videos. You might find the answer for yourself. Do people think if you buy bulk items you have to eat it in one day and it's only for one person? We have large families, plus we buy in bulk because we don't go to the store every day. Bulk items are cheaper, but even if I eat a smaller portion over a few days, it tends to go bad before I can eat it all. To be fair, I live 45-minute drive to the nearest store, so I have to buy in quantity, bulk, because I'm not driving to the store daily. In America, the vast and expansive space, literally speaking, has inadvertently created an absolute freedom in thinking. When you grow up in a place where your view is not obstructed by walls or narrow streets, your mind will automatically activate the sky is the limit mode. It makes Americans bolder, more confident, ready to think big, act big, and focus on the ultimate goals of life. On the contrary, let's look at the British. They live on a small island. Everything is designed to be compact and petite. They call it cozy, but in reality, it's cramped.
Nobody prepares you for how big America actually is. Literally everything in America is massive. The roads are huge. The grocery stores are massive. The parking lots, the apartments are big. The little scale of it. Like, we all know Ghana is a small country.
And when space is limited, human thinking also tends to be constrained by micro-level details, the trivialities of everyday life. The English can spend entire days, even weeks, debating how to recycle this bottle, how to pay taxes, instead of sitting down and discussing how to break through and completely change their personal destiny. Living in a cramped space for too long will unconsciously make people forget the feeling of yearning to conquer great things. That's why when British tourists come to America, they suddenly realize, oh, so I can live such an open and generous life? If you are also feeling captivated by these profound analyses from the perspective of spatial assets, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right away. Your completely free clicks are a huge source of motivation for me to continue producing high-quality videos like this every week. And from this geographical paradox, we also find the answer to a long-standing prejudice. People often criticize Americans for being uncultured or ignorant just because 50% of their population does not own a passport for traveling abroad. But what is the truth? They absolutely do not need to do that. Whatever Europe has, America has it too, even on a larger scale. From deserts, snowy mountains, tropical coastlines to heritage cities, all are contained within one country. Americans vacationing domestically are already more than enough to experience every type of climate and terrain of humanity. The vastness of space and geography in America has directly dealt a powerful blow to the psyche of British tourists, causing them to begin to loathe the stifling reality back home. But this emotional storm was just the beginning. When the barrier of space is broken, the English continue to face something even more terrifying: the depression stemming from the gray sky and the chilling coldness of their hometown cities. What happened when they stepped into the cafes in London? Let's move on to the next part right now. Now, let's imagine the following harsh scenario. You just spent 2 glorious weeks under the golden sun of Miami or California. Step off the plane, and the first thing that greets you back home is a sky as gray as cement, accompanied by bone-chilling drizzle. They call it double depression. A perfect combination of terrible weather and the chilling coldness of the British urban pace of life. Post-holiday blues suddenly turn into a real psychological crisis when they realize they have officially returned to reality.
What exactly is so special about the UK? I'm just sitting here thinking, what would make somebody want to spend their hard-earned dollars to go to the United Kingdom? It has nothing to offer. The only valid reason would be to go watch the Prem if you're a soccer fan. And if you're a foodie, you can't go there for food. What, you gonna go there and eat beans and potatoes?
Hey, I'ma be real, yeah? The UK, we don't know how to vibe properly. If you wanted to compare our country to the US, the US is gonna win that fight. Every single person in the UK does not know how to have fun. We're all just boring. We all seem to have a chip on our shoulder.
From the perspective of behavioral psychology, we humans are purely products of our surrounding environment. And here is a bitter wow fact that not every Briton wants to face. The United Kingdom was voted the second most miserable country in the world for 2 consecutive years. Why is that? The bright sunshine in America not only beautifies the scenery, but also directly stimulates the body to produce dopamine and serotonin, the hormones of happiness, high energy, and openness. It explains why Americans, especially in the South, are always full of energy, ready to smile, and proactively wish you a good day even if they don't know you. In contrast, in the land of fog, the chronic deficiency of vitamin D due to the year-round gray weather has created a characteristic psychological defense mechanism. The English, when out on the street, often walk very quickly, with their heads down, and absolutely avoid eye contact with strangers. For them, if a complete stranger suddenly approaches and asks, "How are you today?" the instinctive reaction is not to smile, but to startle in fear or look at the other person as if they were an alien. This shyness and introversion inadvertently turn large cities like London into living spaces full of pressure and loneliness. If you resonate with this somewhat bitter yet realistic analysis of behavioral psychology, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is the way for the YouTube algorithm to know that in-depth, culturally rich, analytical content like this is truly bringing value to the community. And now, to better understand this cultural clash, let's continue watching this clip.
And how can you hate on this? Like, look, it's just sunny. Everywhere's beautiful. The people are nice. They walk down the street. They compliment you. They ask how your day's been. They compliment your outfit, what you're wearing, what you look like.
Before, most Europeans thought that the US is just a bad place that they can never come or rather explore their dreams. But right now, after the World Cup, everything is changing and Europeans out there are saying America is the next place for them to explore their dreams.
America, in some way, has temporarily removed the crown of judgment from the heads of Europeans, allowing them to live as their most brilliant and confident selves. In America, the culture of attentive service, bringing out water as soon as you sit at the table, is taken for granted. In England, the girl had to wait for more than 15 minutes before someone came to take her drink order. It is these small yet harsh experiences that have awakened British tourists. They no longer feel familiar or belong to the place where they were born. They miss the warmth and refined service of America to the core. The post-holiday depression doesn't stop at the weather or the server's smile. When taste and psychology have been pampered by high-end American standards, the British begin to look deeper into a more pragmatic and equally ruthless aspect: money, rich cuisine, and a life of indulgence. How can service culture and those divine jars of ranch dressing turn an ordinary person into a millionaire? Let's explore this in the next point. Now, let's get ready to dive into an extremely explosive segment, where we will dissect a topic that not only tantalizes the taste buds, but also contains some truly unique microeconomic perspectives. That is how America indulges tourists through cuisine, and something that has received a lot of mixed opinions: the tipping culture.
Tipping culture in America is wild, and I'm starting to understand the tactics that they use at checkout. Every time I come to checkout and the tip option pops up, they throw in a compliment. Oh my God, you look so cute. Oh my God, I love your hair. Your nails are so nice. And I used to fall for it before and feel so guilty. I always add a tip, even though I think it's...
So good job, tourists coming to New York City. You've pissed off the bars and the restaurants. And frankly, I love it myself. So here in the United States, where the tip culture has gotten so out of hand that even self-service at supermarkets now include a tip option, I kid you not, that is really a thing now.
Not to mention, a multitude of other British tourists are going crazy over things very characteristic of America, such as life-changing shaved ice or the privilege of unlimited free refills of soft drinks at restaurants. From a microeconomic perspective, this is a clear manifestation of customer service capitalism. For a long time, many Europeans and people around the world have often criticized the tipping culture in the US, considering it a troublesome system. But what is the truth? This mechanism creates a maximum economic incentive for the staff to actively treat customers as true VIPs. Their income is directly proportional to your level of satisfaction, so they will take care of you extremely attentively, offering you water as soon as you sit down and appearing promptly when you need something. Conversely, in England, the flat salary model leaves employees lacking the economic incentive to optimize the customer experience. What is the result? Tourists have to face bland and curt services, and waiting in vain for 15 minutes just to order a drink is a daily occurrence. If you find this perspective on service capitalism fresh and interesting, please give the video a like and hit subscribe to the channel. These small actions of yours will provide the channel with great motivation to continue producing in-depth analysis videos in a documentary style like this every week. Beside the service, we cannot overlook another fact about cuisine that has completely changed the behavior of the British when they come to America. The mindset of worth getting fat, meaning the food is so delicious that it's worth gaining weight.
Everyone back home in Czech Republic told me I would get fat in the US. I lost.
With all of the European people in the US for the World Cup that are making videos talking about all the food, the portion sizes, going to the stores, just everything related to that. Can they give us an update when they get back home, how much weight they gained?
Many tourists admit that in Europe, snack stalls are so monotonous that on days they want to indulge themselves, they can't find anything exciting and end up buying healthy food. But in America, the world of rich and diverse flavors, from top-notch mac and cheese to Mexican dishes like tacos, has directly attacked the taste buds of the English who grew up in a relatively monotonous culinary culture where salt, pepper, or a bit of chili powder were considered a groundbreaking adventure. The maximum indulgence in both service and flavor in the US has torn off the mask of British prejudice, making them realize with astonishment that the quality of life enjoyment back home is lagging quite far behind. But this awakening does not stop at the dining table. When stepping out of the glittering restaurants and massive hypermarkets, British tourists begin to collide with a much harsher reality back home: post-Brexit freedom barriers and the pressing issue of urban security. What awaits them on the other side of the Atlantic? Let's explore it together in the next point. Before we continue, I want to thank you for patiently accompanying me to the second half of this journey. Now, we will set aside the delightful stories about cuisine to delve into the most profound part of today's video. This is where the economic, political, and social aspects collide strongly, creating a significant turning point in the perception of British travelers when they return to their homeland. We are talking about the freedom trap in the post-economic migration era and the simmering unease in the major cities of the United Kingdom. Many British travelers, upon landing at Stansted Airport, had to witness the chaos, overcrowding, and elderly people struggling to carry their luggage up the stairs. But the bitter narrative continues. I feel like I am being imprisoned in my own country since the new travel laws came into effect. We are only allowed to stay in Europe for a maximum of 90 days and no longer have the freedom to move there to live. Not stopping there, the anxiety peaked when this father expressed his utmost fear every time his children stepped out onto the streets of London, constantly worried about sophisticated thefts or unpredictable social evils. From the perspective of a social analyst, what we have just seen clearly reflects the contrast between two concepts: stagnant infrastructure of the UK and dynamic energy of the US. The land of fog is bearing the heavy consequences of strict border policies and microeconomic recession, causing the public utilities that were once their pride to gradually deteriorate. When a society falls into a state of stagnation, it inadvertently creates psychological pressure that weighs heavily on the people, erasing their sense of safety and pride. Meanwhile, America brings a completely opposite energy: the safety of opportunity. An English permanent resident in the US summed it up very well. America gives people the space to become the version they aspire to be. This place allows you to pour your heart and soul into building a career if you truly desire. Freedom in America is not just on paper. It is a source of energy that drives people to take action. If you are captivated by these profound and authentic social commentary analyses, please generously give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And now, I want to give you a wow point: a deeply symbolic cultural contrast between the two countries. British tourists realize that, back in their homeland, to manage overcrowding and instability, the security system often applies a surface-level control mindset, putting up barrier tape every place, creating a stifling and suffocating environment. In contrast, when, in America, what they miss dearly are the symbols of respect for privacy and personal freedom. Those are the images of leisurely folding chairs on the porch, a swing hanging from an old tree, or a basketball hoop set up on the driveway. Those small details prove one thing: Americans have a great belief in their living spaces, creating a vibe of spiritual freedom that the British crave. The awakening in terms of infrastructure and personal freedoms has caused British tourists to shift from loving vacations to yearning for permanent settlement in the US. However, leaving one's homeland has never been easy, especially when they face the vague fear of losing America due to legal barriers. What motivation helped these people break through to realize their American dream? Let's explore it together in the final point of the video. So we have gone through a long journey together with many emotional ups and downs, from the astonishment at the endless space to the interesting discoveries about the mainstream lifestyle. And now, let's step into the final chapter of today's video, where we won't just stop at superficial comparisons, but will delve deep into the emotional, psychological corners of those who have fallen in love with the land of the free and the home of the brave. It is an invisible fear named losing America and the power to reshape the destiny of the new American dream. An English girl came to the US on a temporary business visa valid for 5 years. She shares a fear that appears every day. I have an overwhelming fear of having to return to the UK. That would be the worst thing in the world. But the very fear of losing America has turned into a huge source of motivation, forcing me to work like crazy, to succeed brilliantly in every way to stay in this place. And it's not just that girl. Look at the inspiring story of a Scottish fan who went to the US to watch the World Cup. He candidly admitted in front of the camera about his past as someone who abused stimulants daily for a long time due to the fear of taking on responsibilities and the fear of rejection. But it was the tolerance, warmth, and positive energy of the American people that helped him regain his spiritual freedom after nearly 7 years of completely leaving behind the darkness of his past, confidently standing in front of the camera to do what he once feared. From the perspective of a social analyst, these two stories perfectly encapsulate the essence of the new American dream. That essence is no longer confined to stories of luxurious material possessions or shiny cars, but its core is space for identity, a space to develop personal identity. America, like any other country, certainly still faces challenging problems regarding social or political structure. However, this place possesses a uniquely open mechanism. They do not judge your past, they welcome confidence, encourage bold ideas, and are always ready to give you enough space to freely shape the best version of yourself. As people often say, if New York is a fierce battleground, then there are always corners of the ring like New Jersey or other regions that embrace you, providing energy to help you fight steadfastly into tomorrow. If you feel that these documentary films combined with in-depth analysis have touched your emotions and unlocked new perspectives within you, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel right now. Your long-term companionship is the most valuable asset for the channel to continue delivering high-quality documentary-style content every week. To conclude today's topic of British tourists waking up, I would like to open a lively and civilized discussion space right in the comments section. Let's stimulate a two-way dialogue across the Atlantic. If you are a visitor from the United Kingdom or another country, what aspect of America has shocked you culturally and changed your perspective the most? And if you are an American citizen, what aspect of your homeland are you most proud of and believe it can win the hearts of tourists at first sight? Leave your story below. I will read and discuss it with everyone. Thank you all for watching the entire video today. Stay safe, always full of positive energy, and see you all in our next in-depth analysis episodes. After all, the journey of the British tourists is not merely a vacation straight out of a Hollywood movie. It is a worldview-changing experience, where old prejudices are shattered to make way for the stark truths about quality of life, freedom, and space to develop personal identity. America may not be perfect, but for those here, it has always been an open land full of promise. Here, I would love to hear your perspectives. If you are an international traveler, what in the United States has shocked you culturally and changed your mindset the most? And if you are an American citizen, what are you most proud of in your hometown that has won the hearts of your foreign friends? Please leave your story and perspective in the comments section below, and I will read and discuss it with everyone. And if you enjoy in-depth, multifaceted analyses of economics, politics, and society in this documentary style, please support the channel by giving a like, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Your support is the greatest motivation for the channel to continue producing even higher quality content every week. Before concluding today's video, we would like to make a small note. All the content, reaction, images, and analyses in this video are compiled based on the experiences and personal opinions of the content creators and cited travelers. The information and comparative data are for reference purposes, discussing popular culture, and do not represent the entire policy system, legal framework, or official stance of any country. The channel always respects the cultural diversity and unique development of both countries. Thank you all for watching the entire video, wishing everyone a good day, always maintain positive energy, and see you all in the next broadcast.